Welcome to the Naked Mama podcast, where to be truly naked is to be eternally committed to stripping away the layers, illuminating the truth within, and emerging as the woman, the mother that you are destined to become. To be truly naked is to be truly you. I am your host, Angel Rockwell, intuitive motherhood coach, transformational mentor, and bold believer in turning the impossible into reality. I am a mama, a wife, a revolutionary entrepreneur, and a visionary for creating a legacy of abundance and fulfillment inside of motherhood. My mission here with the Naked Mama podcast is to debunk the myths of motherhood that disconnect you from your power as a mother and as a woman, and to reconnect you back to the sanctity and magic of the mother-child bond that ultimately is the key to uncovering the ease, freedom, and confidence that you desire and, truth be told, are meant to experience. I'm going to be sharing pieces of my transformational journey along with purely sourced intuitive guidance so that you can begin to see what's possible for you. Know that you are not alone and begin to take action, building momentum towards living the life that you know deep down you are meant to live. The Naked Mama podcast is here to break down the myths of motherhood that are holding you back. Each episode is designed to be a powerful conversation to raise the consciousness of women through motherhood. Each episode holds the power for you to shift into alignment, gain deeper clarity, and expand your awareness. My commitment to you is to show up authentically and be naked with you. The journey here inside the Naked Mama podcast is the journey of evolution and expansion into deeper levels of fulfillment, freedom, and ease. Here inside these episodes, we connect and ground, nourish ourselves, grow, and rise together. I am so excited to welcome you into the world of the Naked Mama. Now, if you're wanting extra love and more support in between episodes, please follow me on Instagram at @TheRealAngelRockwell. Now, let's dive right into today's episode. Welcome to the first episode of the Naked Mama podcast, where what it means to be truly naked as a woman, as a mother, is the commitment to becoming the fullest embodiment of truth, desire, and freedom. I am so deeply honored that you are here with me at the very beginning of this journey of this podcast, and I am so freaking excited to get going. I invite you to get comfy, to be present, and to be open. Now, you may be listening in on the go, wishing you had the time to sit down with your favorite cup of tea and listen with full presence. And that's completely okay. I honor you there and I celebrate you. Maybe you're at home folding laundry and hoping to not be disrupted for the entire duration of this episode. There is an endless list of things that you could be doing while listening, so I invite you to focus your attention here the best you can and celebrate yourself for that. You desire more for yourself, and that's what called you here. That's also what's going to keep you coming back to these conversations. The creation of more requires us to take steps, small aligned steps, so that one day we look back and see the massive leap of faith we created. Without the small steps forward, we simply dig the cyclical rut deeper. So make a choice today, right here, right now with me, perhaps to pause in physical stillness just for a moment while listening. Or maybe you make that cup of tea, sit down and join me here with my cup of tea. Wherever you are on the spectrum, simply make a choice. Choose it, claim it, own it, and feel damn good about it. Trust that you taking this time for you with the intention of growth and investment in you is exactly what you need and is all that is required. Again, I am so freaking happy you are here, and I celebrate you for showing up, for taking this moment for you, whatever that looks like. It says so much about you and your commitment to living the life that you truly desire. Inside this podcast here today, we'll be taking a dive into the myths of motherhood, one myth in particular today, breaking down the walls and digging into the foundation of its creation so we can get a clear look at what's beneath. Ultimately, the choice is yours to take or leave what you hear here. My intention for you is that you feel something, that something inside of you shifts, that something inside of you wakes up and tunes into the truth inside of you that is waiting to be expressed, that is ready to be expressed. In today's episode, we are going to dive right into a key piece of the foundational narrative around motherhood, a paradigm that is so deeply rooted, it has spawned layers of conditioning, beliefs, and stories that appear to be providing all of the necessary proof to keep it alive. So today, here and now, we begin to open up to seeing the cracks in this foundational paradigm and shine light through those cracks that will create a ripple effect for generations to come. Simply stated, the paradigm is this: it's gonna get tough. Now, one phrase I heard with growing frequency throughout my pregnancy was, and I'm air quoting here, I heard this a lot, just you wait. Now, to say that I enjoyed my pregnancy journey would be a massive understatement. I reveled in the gloriousness of my experience with joy and appreciation and beauty, and with a level of grace that honestly did annoy some people. And we'll get into that in another episode. So, when when I became pregnant with my daughter Ophelia, I had recently miscarried. So the first time I became pregnant, I was actually in a space where I mentally I didn't want to have children. My story was my boyfriend and I, now husband, at the time that Davis and I, we didn't want to have kids. We had the perfect story. Anytime somebody approached us and would say, "Hey, you guys have been together a while now. When are you getting married? When are you having the kids?" And we had the perfect boom, 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 spit it out, word for word story as to how we would navigate this with people. We just didn't want kids. That's what we said. That's what we thought at the time. So when I got pregnant, it was about a year after I experienced a really big shift in my life. The universe, what I call it, the universal smackdown in my world. And it essentially was, I lost my job, and with that went my community and my career path and pretty much my entire life's plan. And with that, I used that as an opportunity to really dive into my own development. Now, growth and expansion and adventure and movement have always been things that I've really prioritized in my life. And in 2016, when the vision for my life turned out to not be the vision of my life, I really made a conscious choice to invest in myself, to find out who I was and what I wanted, to gain clarity on me without everybody else, me, just simply me. So when I became pregnant about a year later, so much work had unfolded. I had created so much more freedom and openness in my life that I was able to even take that pregnancy test and not freak out about it. It was my husband who said, "Angel, you're pregnant. Take a test." And I didn't even think that I was. So there is always room to grow our intuitive connection. And when I took that first pregnancy test, everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything in my life, and everything that goes into this everything will illuminate in further episodes, so stay tuned. Everything just settled. It wasn't like everything clicked into place. Everything wasn't perfect, but I settled within. I saw that positive mark on the pregnancy test, and I knew I was pregnant, and everything just came into focus. So for me, moving into pregnancy, I kept like, once you know something, you can't unknow it. So that was my vibe moving into it. And when we miscarried that baby, I did become pregnant with my daughter about 3 months after that. So it was it was challenging for me. I'd say the best word I think is that it irked me. It irked me when people would say, "Oh, just you wait. You're having a great pregnancy now. Just you wait." I didn't It didn't make me angry. I just really didn't understand it. Like, why would I be waiting? Everything is here. The beauty is here. It's all right here. It was just you wait until, oh, just you wait until labor. Just wait until you get zero sleep, until the terrible twos, until she starts walking, talking back. The list goes on and on here. And the narrative continues like this from every direction. I heard this from friends, and I've witnessed this even outside of conversations from myself. And just I'm a very avid people watcher. I'm not an eavesdropper, but I watch people, body language, conversations, things like that. You just pick up on when you're out in the world. So from friends, from family, even from baby goods suppliers, everything that you need to survive motherhood opens up this whole realm that is birthed from, it's going to get tough to need to survive motherhood. This It's not something to be survived, it's something to thrive. And in doing the notes for this episode here, I wrote thrivival. So what is the difference between survival and thrivival? It's definitely not a word, but I like it and it feels good. So I just had to pop it in here. Basically, this paradigm is just you wait. It's gonna get shitty, because it's not just it's gonna get tough, because this could be coming from a different place of it's gonna get tough, but you can handle it. There's no there's a weakness underneath this, and it's designed that way for a reason. So maybe you found this as well, and I've definitely seen this. It doesn't matter if your pregnancy was amazing or if it wasn't. It doesn't matter if your childbirth, your labor experience was amazing or it wasn't. It doesn't matter where you are right now, if you're just in love and feeling the vibe of everything inside of motherhood, or you're the other end of the spectrum, or anywhere in between. This paradigm sets all of us mothers up to fail. Essentially, we're combating this paradigm from every freaking angle. If it's good, just wait. It's gonna get bad. And if it's bad, ooh, you think that's tough? Just you wait. It'll get worse. So it bleeds out into this. We're damned no matter what we do. We're condemned to fearing the inevitable doom. Now, it's all a matter of perspective. I do firmly believe that nothing is either good nor bad, it just is. And we, as the beautiful, magnificent humans we are the ones who get to choose how to frame this perspective and to sit, to be in this experience of whether it is pregnancy or whether you're in the stages now of trying to conceive, or you're with a fresh new baby or toddlerdom, or maybe they're starting to move out of their toddler years, to be in this pure, amazing, illuminative space where this human form, and the spirit that thrives within it has chosen you. For so many reasons that you don't have to understand. Just trust me now that they are there. You have been chosen for this experience, for this soul, for this human, or humans, if you have more than one child, of course. You have been chosen. And the choice, the reasons you were chosen are for love, are for beauty, are for fulfillment, are for joy, playfulness, everything that feels good, ease, relaxation, just sheer enjoyment. This is why you were chosen. This paradigm condemning us to the fear of inevitable doom, it's from a story. And it is a story that has just been told for so long that most people just believe it simply because they don't think there's any other narrative being spoken, and that's what we're here to do now, is to speak a new narrative. Now, because it's been told for so long, it's normal. It's normal to think that lack of sleep means that you're going to have a hard time. It's normal to think that you're going to lack sleep. It's normal to think that, oh, once they hit 2, that they're going to become this terrible toddler. These are normal, but normal doesn't mean healthy. Normal doesn't mean progressive. Normal doesn't mean expansion. Normal just is the way that things are. And again, you are here because you want more than the way things are. You want the truth. You want freedom. Now, this narrative is the expression of the foundation, and the foundation is essentially fear. Fear ingrained, conditioned in to disconnect you from your power. So it's important to note here, I'm framing energetics with words. And what I mean by that, the specifics of how this paradigm came to be are really irrelevant in terms of like chronological story, because it's the energy behind the circumstances that has kept this alive for so long. So again, we live in a world where the majority loves to look at circumstance. What are the things that are happening? This is deeper. In order to shift this paradigm, any of the myths and we're going to discuss here in these conversations, in order to shift, we must understand and be willing to see and be open to accepting where its roots began. So essentially, women felt powerless, disconnected, and unsupported. They shared their experience to hopefully receive help and to warn other women what was coming inside of motherhood, to prepare them. Their intention, they thought, was good. They thought that they were helping. They didn't realize that sharing this warning, this story, from a place of their own fear, of their own disconnect, gave life to this reality for others. That which they were trying to prevent by warning against, they were actually adding fuel to the narrative fire. Now, here, I really want to just into the universe. There is zero blame here. This space in my heart, this energy that I very carefully crafted before I sat down to record this episode here, this is free. This is unconditional love. This is acceptance. This is safety. The fuel added to this narrative fire, it was not conscious. It was unaware, it was unconscious, and now this fire, it just burns out of control. So let's talk about fear for a moment. As a mother, what do you fear the most? Letting your child down, not being enough, failing your child, losing yourself, not being good enough. Have you ever thought where this fear came from? Have you ever questioned whether it came from you, not like the mental you, but the true essence, the real authentic you? Have you ever questioned whether it came from you or someone else? Have you ever really listened to the fear and what it has to say? There are so many ways to look at fear. I know one of the common ones that comes up a lot is false evidence appearing real. And again, I feel connected to that. Again, nothing means good or bad, yay or nay, right or wrong. It just is, and we get to choose. So the truth is, most women, most mothers are living largely disconnected inside of motherhood, which means they're disconnected from their children. They're disconnected from the greater powers that be. They're disconnected from their friends and their family, and they're repeating this narrative of seemingly good intentions, whether through warning or societally accepted humor, like this whole, wind down instead of wind down at the end of the day. There's so many things out there, and perhaps for a tangent for another time. All of these things are leading the path to which we as mothers fear the most, letting their children down, not being enough, and losing themselves inside of something that they know, whether it's conscious or unconscious at this point. Women, as mothers, we know this is a freaking miracle. So when we're disconnected from ourselves, from our truth, from our desire, our true essence of freedom, we lack power. And in our lack of power, we struggle to get out, which just kind of roots us in more deeply. And in this process of trying to force while digging deeper, we teach our children through our actions and our energy to disconnect from their power. And we see it in them now. You see it. And maybe it sometimes drives you nuts. I see that too. Just like they're just so in tune and connected and free. And this creates a reality that's very easy to control. So who is in control? It doesn't really matter who, because again, we get into circumstance and the circumstances are mostly irrelevant. It doesn't really matter who it is, because the truth is that you can take your power back whenever you choose. Whenever, right here, right now, in this moment. You being here with me, listening to this, feeling this with me. This is fueling your next choice. And it isn't up to anyone but you. So here there is a choice to make. What world do you desire for your child, for your children? And are you looking at it? Do you see it right now? Or can you open yourself up to believing it first to then see it? It begins even before conception. Enjoy the fun part, having the sex, because once baby comes, the fun is over. I'm repeating words. So we get to choose here whether we continue to regurgitate a truth that we then continue to complain about, or we can choose something different. As we've already chatted about today, the first choice of the regurgitation of narrative of what is, what has been done, what continues to repeat, this spirals into every nook and cranny of motherhood and starves us. It is starving you. Are you hungry? I'm so hungry. Spiritually hungry, spiritually marinating always. It starves us from experiencing the majesty, the beauty, and ease of conception, of pregnancy, of labor, of childbirth, of mothering, and the true co-creation that is available inside of the mother-child bond. Are you starting to see the crack? Can you feel how this story doesn't belong to you? Now, if you feel something, whether you're with me here and are saying, "Hell yeah, Angel, I feel ya," or maybe you're annoyed with me, or maybe you're frustrated or angry. If you're feeling something, you know the crack is there. So I hope that you're starting to get a taste of what can be possible. So what can we do? How can we take this outside of this conversation? How can you take this into your own life and begin breaking down the walls in your life and with your children? Ultimately, the walls that keep you from your divine right of freedom. It starts with you, and it starts with this: protect your energy. Children absorb everything. As mothers, we choose what normal is. So often I see acceptance of normal, but we all know normal for one isn't normal for another. And although this is part of the current narrative of motherhood, it is unfortunately framed on the foundation of fear and gets too muddied up to be useful in the way that it has the potential to be. What is normal is what is common, is what happens frequently, regularly, or simply is just accepted. We get to choose what we accept. So here's a few pieces to take with you today. Before we can choose, we first must know, we first must feel where we currently are. Not where you were yesterday or what led you here over the past 10 years, just here, now. N-O-W, now. We can begin to cultivate this practice. You can begin to cultivate this right now, this knowing through a simple process I'm going to walk you through right now. So if you are able to be still, be safe, and close your eyes, go ahead and do that. First, we just breathe. So put a hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, close your eyes, allow yourself to relax. Listen to the sound of my voice, listen to the sound of your breath. Feel a shift in your presence. You may not find it here as I'm walking through this a little bit quickly, but breathe until you feel that shift. Continue to breathe with me now. Then ask yourself, how am I feeling? Be open to the answer. The answer will come. Then ask yourself, do I like this feeling? Be open to the answer. The answer will come. And if you do, focus there. If you don't, ask yourself this, what do I desire to feel? Listen for the answer. Be open. It will come. Focus there and continue this process as often as needed. This creates a new foundation. This disassembles the paradigm that is built on fear, because this right here, breathe, feel the shift, ask, get to know yourself. This will show you yourself in a way you never have before. How are you feeling? This was juicy. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. Okay. Thank you for being here with me for this first ever episode of the Naked Mama podcast. Again, I am honored, truly celebrating you as deeply as I can. If I could throw you a parade with glitter mama right now, I would. I look forward to seeing you right here inside the Naked Mama podcast again next week. Thank you so much for joining me inside this episode today, for your willingness to be in this conversation, share in the vibe, the wisdom, and the connection with me. This vibe is now yours to take with you. So take one more deep breath with me, mama, and breathe this in before you step forward with the rest of your day. Pause what you're doing. Be still. Close your eyes. One hand on your heart. One hand on your belly. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Feel what you feel. Honor it and love on yourself like crazy for being open to this moment right here, right now. If this episode resonated with you, made you feel something undeniable, I encourage you to share it and spread the love. And please tag me so that I can connect with you and indulge in the vibe with you. And so that together we can get this podcast into the hands of more mamas who could use a little naked mama in their life. Remember to subscribe so you can stay connected. And if you're looking for love and support between episodes, follow me on Instagram at @TheRealAngelRockwell. If you're feeling pulled for more, join the Naked Mama private Facebook community where deep levels of magic await. Lastly, always feel free to connect with me directly. I adore voice messages, just FYI. If you choose to pop into my inbox, I guarantee I'll be all up in your inbox in the best way. I will see you here again next week for another transformative episode. Until then, sending love and light to you, beautiful mama.